sports. And let's start off what we already know about this Ime Udoka situation. As you know, Ime Udoka of the Boston Celtics was suspended for a whole year when it was leaked, allegedly, that he was having an affair, sleeping with a VP or a travel agent, allegedly. Ime Udoka is the boyfriend. I didn't know they wasn't married to actress Nia Long. And this week he was suspended, and the Boston Celtics had a press conference. I think the Boston Celtics was trying to save themselves. I think they knew, but it was leaked, so they had to come out and save face. They knew of this during the finals. So what we know so far, a year suspension. Allegedly, he slept with either a travel agent for the team, and so he's suspended. And I would like to get 2 points about this situation. The first point is, in real life, they have it in a lot of companies that you can't have a relationship with a co-worker. Usually there's not suspension. You usually get fired, maybe some benefits lost. So, he got off pretty easily. What he did was wrong, of course. But I think Boston Celtics was wrong too, because I think that they knew it wasn't going to do anything. I think the only reason why they did anything, because they didn't want the embarrassment. So they had to come down on Ime Udoka. And I never really thought about this scenario. So shout out to Ticket TV for putting this in my mind. As a woman, our perspectives are different on the cheating situation. And Ticket TV, as a person I'm subscribed to, check out his channel. And he made a point where he said that they're putting out these attractive women around these young guys. And not only are they partaking in these scenarios with these different women, so are the coaches and everybody, all the guys on the team. Even the married coaches, the married general managers are spotted with young, attractive young ladies. And he said, what do you expect? Ime Udoka was not by himself. He's not the first person to have that type of relationship with somebody inappropriately, organization or around the NBA. Or around this basketball period. Bringing in these young girls as trainers, travel agents, player development, they all throughout the office. So they bring in these young ladies, they're very attracted to these young guys. I don't partake in that. So I never really thought about that scenario. And in a way I agree. Yes, and then these young girls, I see that now they're bringing the young girls, not only in the Boston Celtics organization, but you can see ESPN, the young girls, they dress in a certain way. They are looking like more swimsuit models or Instagram than just regular ladies that's in an organization. And it can cause a workplace scenario where the guys are tempted to do something that they shouldn't be doing. And that's no excuse. What he did was wrong. No, he's not married to Nia Long, but he created a life with Nia Long. She moved down from where she was at to Boston. They have a 12-year-old son together. And so, eventually, maybe they will get married. I think that Boston Celtics was trying to cover themselves. And Ime Udoka fell into temptation, and it was leaked. Now, another scenario that was put out there, and I wasn't sure. A former Boston Celtics player allegedly might have tipped somebody off to the situation. Usually when people cheat, reckless. So Ime Udoka was doing this flirtatious behavior around the team. And, it's an unwritten rule. If whatever happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. And so the coaches or the players, they saw something, they wasn't going to say anything. And allegedly, there's some rumors out there that it might be a former player, disgruntled player, that leaked some things that he saw with Ime Udoka and this particular young lady in the organization. So it could be a disgruntled player, allegedly, that leaked this information, because the players and the Boston Celtics was not going to put the information out. I think they already had information. They just didn't say anything. Now, it was leaked out. They'd probably say, okay, we're going to save face. And we're going to act like, oh, I'm just so shocked that this happened. They probably already knew. The NBA did not suspend Ime Udoka. It was the Boston Celtics policy. So the NBA didn't step in. Boston Celtics tried to save face. And that's what happened there with this situation. And another angle I was thinking about, I used to watch Basketball Wives. It was shows, and there's this particular wife on there who's married to NBA longtime NBA player, now retired, Doug Christie. Her name was Jackie Christie, and what Jackie Christie would do is she's very protective of her man. And when I first watched the show, when the show first came on, 8 or 9 years ago, she traveled with him. A lot of wives are not traveling with their husband, but she made a point to not only travel on a team plane. Only place she's not in is the locker room, but on a team plane and other travel arrangements besides the locker room, she's there. And I used to say, wow, this lady is crazy. But now I'm thinking that Jackie Christie is not crazy, because it's, like I said, they're hiring younger, attractive ladies and these are young men and even men that were fall into temptation. And so she made sure that her husband is not around these ladies who look like models or Instagram models. And I used to think she was crazy, but maybe there should be more Jackie Christies, because the practice of hiring young ladies are not going to stop. I'm not saying that these young ladies are not qualified. They are. But they're attractive, more younger than they bring in more women in, period. It was not a lot of women in the NBA in these type of positions. So it causes a temptation. And so I think Jackie Christie was on to something. And maybe Nia Long need to do that. But according to reports, she's trying to work it out. Of course, she loves him. She's been with him at least 13 years. You know, they have a child together that's at least that old. And so she's trying to work it out. He probably knew, allegedly it's a story, that she's a travel agent for the team. And she knew of her. They had traveled, she had booked some trips for them. And so it's very odd that happened like that, allegedly. We have to say allegedly. So I never really thought about the scenario of you dangling these young girls in front of these guys, and they're young, the ladies are young and very attractive and very smart, and you dangling them in front of these guys. I never thought about it from a man's perspective. I always thought about it as a woman's perspective. Oh, that's horrible. You need to hold your fertility. Like Judge Toller used to say on divorce court, hold your fertility. So I never really thought about that. So shout out to Ticket TV for kind of pinning a scenario that I didn't think about. Yeah, it could be tough, I guess. But in I want to say this is sports, but in a real life scenario, NBA Udoka would have been fired. So let's get to a young lady who, when she first started, she was wearing very conservative clothes, and that's Malika Andrews. And as time went on, as she started to get shows on ESPN, she dressed it more provocative. I want to say not too provocative, but she, she went from looking like a lady from Little House on the Prairie to an Instagram model. She's a very attractive young lady, and so she knew that, and so she got into a disagreement with Stephen A. Smith, and she felt like I think Stephen A. Smith wanted the lady to be exposed. I guess not exposed, but she felt like he should be NBA Udoka should be fired. He wanted him to be fired, and she said no, the lady shouldn't be exposed. So it became a woman versus man situation, and it's not that. Yes, what he did is wrong, and yes, maybe you shouldn't have a scenario where you have different opposite sex around each other in a situation where it could be tempting for the guy. So they got into it with that, and then Herc said some things that he uncovered some things about the Boston Celtics might have known, but she placed the blame just on NBA Udoka. And so she back and forth with that. But another thing that guys were saying that, wait a minute, you jumping on NBA Udoka, Malika Andrews, but you kind of flipped up your style. Like I said, she was dressing very conservatively, and all of a sudden she's dressing like an Instagram model. And then her and her sister, they're dressing, they got their hair all down, and short dresses showing their cleavage. And so they think of her as a kind of a hypocrite. You dangling your You know that you're very attractive, young lady. You're dangling your sex appeal to these guys who are young. You're young, and so you're showing them that, and you want respect, but you're pinning out, hey, yes, I'm smart, but I'm sexy. I just can't describe it. So I understand it. I guess I can understand it from a guy's point of view. You're being a hypocrite with this. You dangling this in front of my face, and you don't expect me to have some kind of attraction. Now, yes, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Yes, maybe she is doing that. Maybe these women are doing that. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Just because that lady showed her body, doesn't mean that you go for it. Because Udoka went for it, and he said, I could do this. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. They do it too. I'm not gonna say that they do it, but we know that they do it too. And guy code that I'm not gonna say anything about. If I see another person in an organization having a relationship with a person that's not their fiance, girlfriend, or wife, and so he thought, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Just because something is put out there to you, do you take that chance? Because you put yourself in that situation, now you left holding the bag. Yes, maybe the Boston Celtics allegedly knew that you were having a relationship with this person. They try to handle it internally. They hired an independent person. I don't think they should. I don't think they did, but they already knew the answer. They probably had a conversation that we don't know about the situation, and we don't know if the situation happened recently or did it recently stop. We don't know. But Boston Celtics act like they're surprised about the situation. And sometimes you take temptation, it could be a fatal temptation. It could cost you your career, your image, your life. Let's say that he had an affair with this particular person allegedly, and the husband do something to him physically. It could be very fatal. Just because somebody dangles something in front of you, don't mean you should take that situation. So you can't say, oh, she dangled in front of me. So that's I'm saying devil's advocate. That's my woman's point of view. Like, okay, just because they do that doesn't mean that you take it. There's a lot of attractive people out there, and of course, just do this. Just be a window shopper. Just be a window shopper. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Okay. And then go about your business, because sometimes it could cost you. And what you think you're doing in private come to light. They say what's done in the dark comes to light. So it came to light, left holding the bag. The Boston Celtics probably already knew, but you left with the fallout, and now people talking about you as a dog and unprofessional, and it could cost you your coaching career. So hopefully he could come back as a coach. I don't think he should have been fired, personally. This is Miss Black D for Miss Black D Sports Report and more, and I'm out.